Hey everyone, Jason here with STS. Today I'm going to be working on an iPhone 6 that was sent here because the guy bought it on eBay and I think he thought he could fix it, and once he got it he was not able to get it to power on. I am also sitting here watching the Paul Daniels stream, which he has made this really cool low ohms meter that I think will that would help to find some of these really difficult shorts. So I'm going to say goodbye to Paul here so that I can do my video. No telling how long. These live streamers, they tend to stream for like days. I wonder how in the heck YouTube can just let anybody, like anybody that wants to record, they'll just store it all. He's recording some good content, but anybody can run around with a camera, live stream it, and YouTube will just save it all. It's like, yeah, no big deal. We'll save everything. That's quite all right. I remember running around with like a cassette recorder and being limited to like 30 minutes. YouTube's just like, we'll just save it. Just give us anything. You want to record your cat? You want to put a camera on a bird's nest and just hit record and walk away? That's no big deal. We'll record everything. Okay, so here is our Paul Daniels stream here. I'm gonna say, oh. So here is our iPhone 6, which by the way was sent here as a 6S and not a 6. It's really something when you do all that corresponding and all the way up to the point where it hits the table, and then you got to send them a message and say, hey, this is actually an iPhone 6. And then you wonder if they're going to say, buddy, I sent you a 6S. No, sir. You sent me an iPhone 6. All right, so I'm going to hook a supply to this thing, and I'm going to hook a screen to it. iPhone 5, iPhone 6, and let's grab a iPhone 6 screen. Got to connect our screen here. Verifying the voltage on the supply is not set to like 12 before I connect it to the battery rail. Alright, so we've got our supply connected. I am currently drawing 0 amps at 4 volts. Blessed be no VCC main short. Alright, I'm going to hit the power button and we get 800 milliamps, 200 milliamps, 100 milliamps. What the fuck? What's going on with this phone? What have I changed? Because I remember the other day, like when this phone came in, I had a brief look at it, moved it into the queue. This phone didn't power on. But what did I change? I had the dock connector hooked up. The dock connector was hooked up. Did he provide a passcode? No passcode. This is a phone that has a note about not being iCloud locked, so it'll need wiped. What do you want to bet me when this thing is wiped it's going to be iCloud locked? Like, everybody wants to say, yeah, I signed out, but nobody really has. And I don't know what it is about people that are like retiring phones too. Like, when you ask somebody, like, hey, I know this thing's like garbage, but if one day somebody did happen to get it working, is there any way you can remove it from your iCloud account? And I don't know what it is, but even like the last guy that I talked to, this was a phone that was sent to another shop for repair. The other shop sent it here. The repair took too long, so the customer backed out. They're just like, no, screw this. They went and bought a phone, and then that shop, since they botched the repair, they bought that customer a new phone. Well, that left me holding a long screw damaged iPhone 6 that now needs to get shipped back to the shop that sent it here. I felt bad for them and said, I'm not charging you for this. You know, that's a bad deal. Your customer made you buy them a phone. You just take your phone back. But anyways, long story short, I wound up on the phone with their customer, and really good conversation. The guy wanted to remotely wipe the phone because he wanted to make sure his data was gone. So what I did, I tried to get it on Wi-Fi, but Wi-Fi did not work because of the long screw damage. I must have missed something. Well, that's not the topic here. We'll just ignore that. I tried to get it on Wi-Fi, that didn't work out, so then I just went ahead and popped my own SIM card in it and hooked it up to the network, and then instantly this phone is wiping. So he had did an iCloud remote wipe on it, and this is with me on the phone with this guy. So here he is, he's signed into his iCloud account like right now with it on his screen, and I said, hey, I know that the other shop, they had to buy you a phone. There's a possibility that they may be able to make some use out of this phone if there's any way that we can get you to sign out of iCloud. He says, well, I just factory reset it. Isn't that all you need? I said, no, if they try to set it up again, it's still going to want your username and password. It's going to want your iCloud credentials. So if you log in and then just remove it from your account, then that will allow somebody else to move into it and take ownership. He says, well, doesn't that jeopardize giving somebody else my data? You know, so what was supposed to be a really easy, you know, it was an excellent conversation until I started talking about accounts and security and things, and then it automatically got, you know, he felt threatened. You know, here's this guy, he don't know who I am, he's never watched any of my videos, this guy don't trust me, you know. And I had trust all the way up until I started talking about removing this device from your account, and then all of a sudden he thought I was out to get him. I'm not going to go on too much about that any longer, but the way that ended up was he was signed into his iCloud screen. He's like, yeah, okay, that's no big deal. I'll go ahead and get it removed from my account. But I could tell by the lengthy pauses in this guy's voice that it's not going to happen. And sure enough, 30 minutes went by, an hour, a couple hours, and that phone is still iCloud locked, and it will be from now until the end of time. I don't know what it is when people retire iPhones. Now, there are some people that are just like, you know, they're reasonable about it. They understand this isn't mine no more. Why do I want it on my account? But there are others that seem to like hold on to that like it's something when it's really absolutely nothing other than being sure nobody else gets to use it. So let's go ahead and see where I've went wrong here. I'm going to go back, switch back to this phone here, and let's reconnect the dock connector, because I think I tested this with the dock connector connected. And we're going to reconnect our power supply. And I'm going to connect a charger. Or I mean, push the power button. 200 milliamps. This phone is back to an Apple logo. So let's go ahead and let it have a full boot. While it does that, I'm going to check the battery that came with it. And we are going to see what the battery level is right now. This battery looks like garbage, by the way. I mean, it looks really, really bad. And the battery that came with this phone is at 0.000 volts. And it boots. So let's see what is going on here. Let's hook up this 0-volt battery. Okay. And with the 0-volt battery hooked up, I do see what could be a hint of liquid there. Alright, so with our 0-volt battery hooked up, we're going to check and show that it is in fact still 0 volts. It actually raised to 0.4 volts. That's probably some capacitance in the board itself from me having power supply hooked up. So let's go with a charger. I am now connecting a charger to this phone right here. And we're going to go back and measure power at the battery rail. And we get 3.7, 2, 3.7, 2, 3.7, 3.8, 2. Okay, let's disconnect our charger and see where this battery falls to. I'm betting it falls right back to next to 0. We're at a half a volt. Why is this phone here? Because I'm thinking, I'm staring at a bad battery. Let's see if I got a battery. Oh yeah, that's the battery that evaporated the other day. I dropped it, it bounced, and it's gone. It hit the floor, it landed on my ultrasonic cleaning jug, and it went clunk. Where is that battery? Alright, let's find out what happened to that battery. I know it's not stuck to the bottom of my shoe, right? It didn't get stuck to my elbow, and then later on I'm going to find it in the shower. Did it go under my server? It's under my server! Holy crap! My iPhone 6 battery went all the way up under my file server. Do you use new components? Yes, I do. I just dug this one out from under my file server, and it is of questionable quality. Okay, let's give this a shot, and let's also add batteries to the list of things that need ordered. Let's see where this battery's at. I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the phone. And then we're going to check and see what the voltage on the battery is. Right now, you know, keep in mind we're troubleshooting a phone that came here because it wouldn't power on. We don't know exactly what's wrong with it. I can tell you that it doesn't look severely liquid damaged. It actually looks really nice, aside for a little scuffing down here. Alright, so on our battery line right at this second, the battery that I just connected gives me Wow, look how crooked this battery is. The connector on it. What in the world? Look how crooked that's soldered. Can you see that? Connector's just twisted all the way sideways. Weird. Alright, connect it. Check it. We get 0 volts. And we're going to go ahead and connect our charger. I see backlight. I see a battery charging icon. See what we get now? Now it's Apple logo. It was battery charging icon. And now battery charging icon. Okay, so back over to the microscope here, we have this thing connected to a charger, and we're trying to figure out why this phone wound up here as not being able to power on when it powers right up. Okay, so this thing is testing right at 3.3 volts, 3.4 volts, 3.5, 3.55. Okay, so this is going to be a battery that's like really weak, and a battery that's weak, whenever you put a charge on it, it won't draw a load. Like it'll just let the voltage go crazy. You go through the same thing when you're charging lead acid batteries. If you've got dead cells and stuff, you hook power to them, the voltage will just ramp right up, but you won't actually get a load. But if you try long enough, sometimes you can change the chemical properties enough to get these things to start coming back to life and start taking a load. And I think that's what we're seeing here. When we initially plugged this thing in, this battery went whoop up high, and then the phone's like, cool, voltage is high, and it started to boot. Well, then it didn't have enough, it didn't actually have enough charge. Call it a surface charge, I'm not sure what to call it, but there wasn't enough current available, and the thing would just die. So let's see where our voltage is at now. We should have a nice steady voltage rise once this battery starts to take a charge, if it's not completely shot. We're already up to 3.8 volts and charging fast. This phone is clearly not having an issue charging a battery. However, the battery that I have connected right now is very weak. I suspect that it will charge fast and also drain fast. So look at that battery charging, boy, 3.8394. So we have a nice steady charge here. That's sort of a charge rate. I should start to feel some warmth, and I do. Now, I'm not checking current going into the dock connector, which I should be, but I'm not. Sue me, but I'm still going to fix the phone. So at 3.8 volts, we should be about to see this thing boot. Is it already booted? Yeah, it's already booted, and they've got some pictures on this. Well, not pictures. There's a picture of like family here on the wallpaper. And I'm really concerned about this one because it had a note about iCloud and wiping it. So let's let this thing charge for a minute. I think what we're dealing with here is a bad battery. I really don't understand how, since it was sent here for a logic board repair. Let me go back and read the description of this ticket. He checked the battery and found it to be charging. Okay, so the battery was never actually replaced. And if you did check the battery, you might actually have seen this thing charging, but in all reality, the behavior of this phone, this is going to wind up being a defective battery. That's why this phone is here. And I can't show you what's on the screen because it is an entire picture of these people's family, and they may not want me to display that on the YouTube channel. I'm going to tell you though that the battery started up at 1% and it's already at 3%, so I suspect this to be charging normal. My next step from here is to make sure that we are absolutely clear about the wipe on this phone. This thing looks like it has data on it, and I don't like to be the guy to erase other people's data, so there's a good chance this one's going to get sent back just like it is. And so anyways, that is going to be it for this video. I'm going to get a better battery and put it in this phone so that I can send it back as repaired, and I am going to move on to my next repair. I do thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Hope you have successful repairs, and I will see you soon.